The coronavirus is reshaping retail, turning parts of the industry upside down. Some big brands have come under intense pressure. Shares of Macy's, Kohl's, and Bed Bath & Beyond all losing more than half of their value just since the start of March. Joining us right now to talk about the future of retail is someone who is very familiar with the industry, Michael Rubin, who's the executive chairman of Fanatics. And Michael, it's good to see you this morning.
Good morning, Becky.
You know, I think about retail and how you wind up in this. And on the one hand, you're in a very favorable position because you've got online retail, which is the one thing that is really taking off these days. On the other hand, sports have been canceled, and that is obviously the huge feeder to your business. So how have you seen an impact, and how has all this played out?
Yeah, well, generally, if you're in the sports business and you sell sports merchandise and there's not sports, it's not a great ingredient for successful business. Just be kind of cut right to the chase. I mean, if you look at our business, breaking it into two parts, 30% of our business is wholesale merchandise to wholesale business to retailers like a Dick's Sporting Goods or a Kohl's or a Walmart. And then also we have within that 30%, we operate about 50 different venues where you go to a stadium, we operate the stores there. That business is down nearly 100%. The 70% of our business that's e-commerce is actually holding up. It's respectable. The business is it's decent. It's for not having sports. I guess glass half full, it's actually pretty decent. Glass half empty, we don't have sports, and that's what ultimately drives the business. So I'd say the e-commerce business, which 70% of our revenue is okay. The 30% of our business is non-existent.
Hey, Michael, a question for you. When, in fact, we do get to a place where some of your products are going to be sold on store shelves, how do you think that's going to change the business? Do you think people are going to go into stores and try clothes on? I mean, that's always been part of the thing, trying on the shirt to make sure the shirt fits. But if I know that somebody else has tried on the shirt before, it may change my view. Yeah,
I think that people talking about how much pain everyone's going through right now while all these businesses are closed, I think that's actually less of the pain. The real pain is going to be beginning when people open back up and your restaurants are running down 30% in traffic, and the average ticket's down another 30%. And so now the restaurant's running down 50%. When stores open back up and they're running down 50%. So I think that one thing that's definitely happened from this is a real share shift change. If e-commerce had been 20% of total retail, I think post-corona, post-vaccine, I bet it's still 30 or 35%. There's definitely a share shift up in e-commerce and a share shift down in physical retail. But between now and when a vaccine actually happens, I think retail and kind of restaurants and travel, all these industries are going to be, I think, brutal overall. And I think, and the big thing to think about is you've got all the costs associated with the business, except for you don't have the gross margin dollars that come from the pre-corona business.
And Michael, that raises the question, what kind of collateral damage is done in the meantime? It's not as simple as just turning the lights back on if this continues for an extended period of time.
Well, I'd say if this was over today and all the lights were turned back on, business is going to be brutal for retail. I mean, I don't think you can underestimate that someone opens back up and they still have their rents, they still have their labor costs, they still have the costs associated with business, but they're not going to have the volume that was there. If I had to give you a guess, I bet you when retail opens back up over the next few months, I bet you that restaurants run down 40%, maybe 50%. I think retail runs down 30% through the balance of this year and headed into next year until you get into a point where people become, until either Cronus cured or just America's sentiment changes, which I don't see happening so quickly.
Because you think people will just be too afraid to go. They won't want to risk it.
Look, I think young people are not going to be nervous, but I think, I think there's going to be a percentage of people, my mom, who's 79 years old, she's not going to a retail store. She's not going out to a restaurant. She's staying confined to her home. And I think there's a percentage of the population that feels that way. I think there's other people. I mean, for me personally, I feel differently, but I think it's going to be a segment of the population that's not comfortable shopping. And then I think as a result of that, prices need to come down. I mean, one of the things with our business right now, where our e-commerce business, 70% of our revenue is actually pretty respectable. We're discounting more than we normally do. In the off-season, non-holidays, we generally discount 10 days a month. During the holidays, we do it 30 days a month. We're discounting like we're in the holidays right now because we need to give more value to our fans, take better care of them, to keep any level of busyness for e-commerce sales.